I'll say one thing. None is a dream that might never die.
In a universe.
Nice. Thank you, Jimmy. That's our announcer and resident in-house guitar flourish, Jimmy, James I. O'Neill. He's okay. All right. He's actually got to go now. He's a good Irish Catholic. Today is Easter. Happy Easter out there to all of you who dig Easter. And also, it's 420, and Jimmy has a recommendation for medical marijuana. So it's sort of two holidays in one for him. So he won't be joining us for the rest of this show, but he'll be back for the first of the next series of 4 podcasts, which will be coming following this one, which is the 4th of the first series of 4, which is for a total of. Anyway, consult your Common Core mathematical problem book and find one that's appropriate. Email me at sam@icloud.com with your Common Core math questions on how to find the sum of 4 plus 4. All right. Yes, it is Easter, and by way of disclosure, I am a baptized Christian. I was baptized when I was 17 years old by an army chaplain. That's right. So that I guess that makes me a Christian. But we're not going to get into that because this is not a show for a political or religious debate. But I am always fascinated by the confluence of the Christian religion, the Christian faith with the pagan beliefs, and how that happened in the later years of the Roman Empire, actually facilitated by the Roman Empire. The way I learned it was the state was trying to keep more people into the whole Roman thing, and there were more and more Christians, so they thought, well, let's combine some pagan elements with this. And I think what we got from that is the Christmas tree and the Easter egg or something. I don't know. I need to consult my religious advisors on that one. Anyway, moving on. Happy Easter. Happy springtime. I hope all my friends on the East Coast are finally experiencing some signs of warmth after a long and brutal winter. I don't even want to think about it. I haven't even been able to really speak to anybody out of just sheer guilt. I mean, we have a drought out here, to be sure, and we have to be mindful of that. But it's not cold. Anyway, hello, Blinky, here with you in the crow's nest. It's a quiet day. I think everyone's in church or something. Also, of course, Passover was this previous week, and spring break. So this is a time of change, a time when things turn. College students are returning for that last gasp before summer. And but my thoughts really are with my friends on the East Coast. Here's a song. This goes out to them. This is about a couple of nice Long Island ladies. This is Red Felt Heart, Ode to Grey Gardens, here on the Crow's Nest.
Life is fleeting, gently lying, watch it flying and goodbye. All life's riches turn to ashes, even young and smoky lasses. Singing, dancing, make romance when you're presented with the chance. Life is fleeting, gently lying, watch it flying and goodbye. See how it flies. Oh, we've known till now. garden. With your scarf and your skirt and your cape on, with your dreams and your chance of romance gone, with your youth and your bloom and your suitors gone, with your light and your love and your hope on, with your fur and your jewels and your cool on, with your cats and your rats and your bats gone, with your house and your weeds and your garden gone, with your light and your love and your hope on. Life is fleeting, gently lying, watch it flying and goodbye. All life's riches turn to ashes, even young and smoky lasses sing and dance and make romance when you're presented with the chance. Life is fleeting, gently lying, watch it flying and goodbye. See how it flies. We've
Red felt heart on the crow's nest, ode to Grey Gardens. Of course, the Big Edie and Little Edie. Those are the ladies I was talking about. Blinky here with you on kind of a quiet Sunday. It's on my man's chrono-adjusted time meter. It tells me it is 11:55 a.m. on the mark. Just randomly, were this an Easter Sunday, let's say in the mid to late 1970s? I just got an image in my mind. I would have just been coming home from the post chapel, from the Easter services, taken off my Sunday suit, and before lunch, I already would have been in front of the Admiral black and white television set watching this Sunday's Abbott and Costello movie. WPIX, Channel 11, used to run Abbott and Costello movies every Sunday at 11:30. That's a random thought for today. Oh, all right. Coming up later, we're going to have part 2 of the Kino X radio drama that was started so auspiciously last week. The Crow's Nest radio players playing on the radio once again. Actually, I can't say that. That's somebody else's show. Scratch that. Reverse it. Anyway, we were talking about springtime and change and coming out of hibernation is another. I wondered what the world would be like if people hibernated for real, you know? A brutal winter like the one that was rumored to have happened. I mean, for all I know, that could just be propaganda. You know, net neutrality could actually be a ghost, and I could be receiving all of my information here in California. For all I know, you know, there's some giant computer reading my Facebook posts and computing exactly what I need to hear and then focusing that message on my Yahoo page. Oh, stop it, would you? Come on. Listen, I'm not really paranoid. I'm actually, I'm in a state of awe and wonder that each one of us has the capability to even do this. I've already gotten some really kind and awesome responses from a couple of people who've listened. And I really feel like I'm achieving what I wanted to do with this thing, which is put my thoughts out there and just sort of have them come from, as I said in the pilot, a directed place, and a show that can be taken seriously. That was supposed to be a joke. This is Blinky on the Crow's Nest. We're going to be right back.
Found that man reported missing. He wandered in his home. It don't seem too bad if you've considered just what he's been through. Seems he met up with a gang of thieves who mistook him for a man of means. They locked him up, thought he had no money, so they let him go again. Now he's back at home and happy, just to see the kids.
Мы перелетели через атмосферу Земли.
Ну, как по-вашему?
Красиво.
Что видите?
Смотрю через стекло и вижу малиновая космическая заря.
The light that leads the way has turned another day, breaking the decay that was left in the way. Can you feel the energy in your head? The sun reflecting shards of a light spell, flowing from the atmospheric side. Cosmic dawn, whoa, yeah.
Blinky with you here on the Crow's Nest. That was the raspberry-colored Cosmic Dawn, performed by the Sonic Hash Browns. The first acid rock band to successfully orbit the Earth and play the full set from their concept album, the raspberry-colored Cosmic Dawn. They docked with the Mir space station in 1997, and they were the reason they were the reason Lance Bass got bumped from the. That's not a true story. Then again, I told you, I may say things on this show that are not true. In fact, you'll never know. Well, actually, if I keep doing it like that, you probably will know. Anyway, back with you here. It's been a great week, actually, for space and our relationship to it and in it and with it. If you get your news off of Yahoo's page like I do, apologies to the New York Times, but really, you guys, you couldn't get the thing here on Sunday. Never mind. I don't want to get it. It's not even a big deal. Great week for space. And as a member of the Planetary Society, the National Space Society, and the National Aeronautical Society, I feel like I can make a couple of joyous announcements here. One, you might have already heard, discovery of a planet that is only 10% larger than our own in the star system of Kepler 186. This would be designated Kepler 186f, and it is indeed located within the so-called habitable or Goldilocks zone. That is, it's at an orbit. It is in an orbit around its star that could support liquid water and therefore life as we know it. And if you have been watching Cosmos, a Space-Time Odyssey with Dr. Neil deGrasse Tyson, you will have found out all about the carbon atom and how the fact that it can bond with other molecules is the whole reason we're having this conversation right now. It's exciting, though, because 17... Anyway, get out your Common Core problem books. I need this, the 2014 minus 797. That's 17, right? That's 17 years. Let's see if we can do a Common Core. Okay. Sam tried to make a movie in 1997. When he turns 50 in 2014, he will still be working on Scene 318's special effects. Write a letter to Sam and ask him, A, why hasn't he finished his movie yet? And B, how many years have passed between trying to make this movie and his 50th birthday? All right. Email me at sam@icloud.com with your answers, but also with the problems. I'll read them on the next show. Oh, Jesus, what is this? What was that? That was a bumper.
Nest.
Thank you. We just paused for station identification. 17 is the answer. All right. I just need creative questions. And we're going to make this into a workbook, and then we're going to get a small experimental group of children together, and we're going to teach them wrong, just like Steve Martin's joke about teaching a kid wrong, so that when he shows up in school for the first day, he raises his hand, and the first words out of his mouth are Mambo Dogface and the Banana Patch. Thank you. Thank you, Steve Martin. Right. So, anyway, the hell are we talking about? It was good. 17 years ago. Look, I apologize. Okay, I need to come clean with you. I take a lot of credit on this show, but really, I'm just learning all this stuff. And like I said, Jimmy's not here today. Jimmy O'Neill, my side man, presenter. he does the guitar thing in the beginning. He also helps me with a lot of the tech stuff, and he's not here today, so it's kind of a nightmare. I've got bumpers coming up all over the place. I don't know what I'm doing, but then again, I never made that claim. I never said that I did know what I was doing. Anyway, Blinky here in a pod crow nest. I forgot what I was talking about. Jimmy, come back to us. It's a great day for space. Great week for space. Anyway, 17 years ago, I was trying to make this action-adventure movie about a guy who crash lands on a planet and has to go kill a monster with a stick. Well, that year, I was living in Woodland Hills, and my mom had gotten me, for my birthday, a subscription to The New Yorker. And I read an interview in The New Yorker with Daniel Golden, who at the time was the administrator of NASA. And in 1997, scientists, a very small group of them, had just begun searching for extrasolar planets using the wobble method, where they detect a planet by the way it affects by the way its gravity affects the motion of the star it orbits. And 97 was also a pretty good time for outer space. The Sci-Fi Channel actually had a weekly series called Inside Space, and there was a host, and it talked about all the stuff that was going on, because the Mir space station, the space shuttle, regular missions were being flown up to the Mir, the ISS was being constructed, the Hubble telescope had been repaired, and there was a lot of great discoveries being made. It was a pretty vital and vibrant time for NASA. And it intersected with my attempt at making a space movie. And the idea was, because this was the age of Go Fish and El Mariachi, and the idea was to do something quick for a very little bit of money, get to the point of a work print, or a rough cut rather, and then have it go from there. So I needed to come up with a story. The guy with the monster with the stick, that's a perennial story of mine, and it's pretty straight up. But then I read this article, and I'd been watching the NASA TV, on cable, live real-time coverage of. Oh, hang on a second. I'm sorry. We're all over the place today. Maybe it's the spring weather. There's a squirrel outside my window right now. You can't see this, but I've got to give this squirrel 3 peanuts, okay? So, anyway, I'll be right back.
I can't speak, my knees are weak, way past my peak, but brother, beware of me. I'm not small, I'm 10 feet tall, and if I fall, I'm taking you down. You're a hard one, yeah, you know it. You make it so hard to find the strength to grow. Up to the light, I'm trying, brother, I'm buying in. So size and wise me up and test me if you can best me, be my best. I hope that you try. You wanna taste me, turn and face me, look me straight into these blue eyes. Take your best shot, like I'm waiting. You're the big strong
Yeah, that's Maz Furnace with Be My Guest, fabulous Kevin Ray on vocals. We're back. I apologize for having to take that sudden break. I want to talk to you about this great week in space. The thing is, I have been trained by a squirrel. This is an extraordinary thing. Plus, if you know anything about me, you know that I served on the lines down there in the Beechwood campaigns down there in Hollywood, and we fought the squirrels. We fought the squirrels for natural resources. Go to YouTube and search for Squirrel War. You'll see what I mean. You'll see one of our officers, General Peck, back when he was just a captain, and what he used to do. Yeah, go ahead and do it. It's fun. Squirrel War. Yeah. It's partially true. It's a reenactment, but it's actually true. What you see, what you will see, it's fake, but it's based on what we really did down there. What am I talking? I'm talking about squirrels. No, this squirrel, she comes to my window, and I drop everything I'm doing, and I go and I give her as many peanuts as she can eat and as many as she can carry away for her little squirrel babies. I swear, her brood up in that tree must be drinking peanut butter smoothies. I mean, that squirrel's milk has got to be like one of those things that John used to drink from Robex. So I'm trying to help trying to help nature, trying to help the squirrels grow up healthy. And the peanut is a fine, healthy food. That's something I remember from grade school. George Washington Carver inventing something like 600 distinct uses for the peanut. Anyway. In 1997, I read an article in the New Yorker magazine. Daniel Goldin, the administrator of NASA, was talking about the nascent science of searching for extrasolar planets. And at the time, as I said earlier, before my complete meltdown with my conditioning Manchurian squirrel candidate, it was right at the beginning of this time. And he said one thing in his interview which changed everything for me. He said, it's exciting enough to discover these planets, know that they exist, be able to start to prove the theory that the Earth is not uncommon in the universe, that the combinations of matter, that the life, the diversity of life that forms here, the conditions that create it, are not rare or unique to this Earth, but in fact, utterly common and abundant. But this was an idea that was still in the realm of science fiction at the time. So he says in the interview, he says, yeah, it's exciting to know that these things are up there, and it's exciting to discover and name them. But then he said, but just wait until we can actually have imaging that's powerful enough where we can see one of these Earth-like planets. Well, first we had to discover an Earth-like planet. That is still in the future. We don't know if Kepler 186f is Earth-like. We just know it's roughly the size of the Earth, and its relative distance to its star puts it in the habitable zone. That's all we know. But Goldin said, he said, when we can see that planet and we put names on what he was saying was when we name it, when it becomes a real place, he said that would change everything. And that was the moment that I decided I had to make the movie about the result of that discovery, this great push, this great impetus. And they didn't just discover in the movie in the 21st century, they didn't just discover several Earth-like planets, they discovered thousands. And it was the cosmic invitation. So now it's 17 years later. And just not more than a month or so ago, the number of planets discovered outside of our solar system was doubled in 1 week. So discovery is accelerating. Also this week, Elon Musk's SpaceX Dragon spacecraft successfully launched and successfully docked with the International Space Station. This is important because it's private industry, private enterprise that is now conducting the kind of work that the government agency NASA used to do. And this is an important step, all right? And I guess I'm running over this week, so I'm not going to do a movie review, but I will say Blinky's pick for this week, Elon Musk, SpaceX. Check out the grasshopper. All right, folks, listen. If you've stuck around, well, you're very patient and brave. I appreciate it. But as promised, I'd like to go out today with the second installment in our radio drama, which is completely counter to this strange, goofy, spring-like mood that I seem to be in here. High atop the crow's nest, somewhere between Ixtlazihuatl and Popocatapatel. This is Blinky, and I would like to say again, I wish Jimmy were here to introduce this week's episode of Kino X. The Crow's Nest radio players are proud to present Kino X, Episode 2, a play adapted for the radio by Sam Saldivar.
Previously on Kino X.
New York City, June the 18th, 1992.
Billy Moat. You were working for us last year, covering the Allied advance on Kuwait City. You almost let a man die.
Hey, I was doing my job. I was there to cover the war, not fighting.
You know why we called you here? The fact is that you've got nothing. But there may be a way we can help each other. I need someone for an important assignment. There's a rumor out there, on the wire, that somewhere in the dark corners of this country, there is something growing, something insidious, something bent on the destruction of the very thing that identifies us as a civilization. Kino X. But we think we may have an advantage. We think we may have found their leader.
The director presses a button on the remote control. A video image appears on the monitor that is instantly recognizable to Billy.
You know who that is, I assume.
Yeah, that's John Madrid.
John Madrid, producer, director, and star of 7 of the all-time top box office grossing films before the age of 25.
Yeah, the road crew movies. I saw them all.
At age 26, after 2 failed marriages and a well-publicized falling out with the original team at Crow's Nest Vertical Pictures, Madrid makes Road Crew Armageddon, a 3.5-hour epic into which he sinks the bulk of his personal fortune.
It's a critical success with bombs at the box office.
Crow's Nest Vertical is on the verge of folding. And as Madrid is fighting a valiant 11th-hour battle to save the company, Madrid's third wife, Candace Klein, leaves him. On November 15th, 1988, the day before Madrid's 27th birthday, the original Road Crew production team reunites and flies by private jet bound for Hollywood, with the intention to reconcile with Madrid and help him to save the company. Additionally, they bring with them the only known existing print of Martian Summer, Madrid's first and supposedly lost film.
Yeah, they never make it to the reunion. The plane crashes into the Crow's Nest Vertical studio lot, and all aboard the plane are killed, along with like another 50 people on the ground.
Madrid is not there at the time of the crash, and therefore escapes injury. The company folds, and Madrid spends the next 2 years making appearances on television, finally ending up with his own talk show in the fall of 1990. It's a disaster. Ratings are abysmal, and many syndicated stations drop the show midway through the first season. Ratings are all but non-existent once the coverage of the Gulf War begins in 1991. The show continues to slip. Madrid becomes increasingly confrontational with guests and shows an open contempt for the media, and there is growing concern that his emotional state is highly unstable.
That's complete lies.
Complete lies? What, are you going to deny that? You're going to deny that in front of all these wonderful people?
Yes.
Yes?
Yes, I deny it. I don't know where you're getting this from, Johnny.
Where am I getting this from? Don't call me Johnny. Johnny. Don't.
Then, in August of 1991, John Madrid walks off his set in the middle of a taping and has not been seen since. And neither has about $10 million of Madrid's own money that was to be used to distribute Road Crew Armageddon. 1 week after his disappearance, the first demolition attack on a television tower occurs.
So, you think he's it?
It's a pretty good bet.
How am I supposed to find him?
He's left a trail of bombed towers that reads like a road map. We can put you close to him. The rest is up to you.
If he really is who you're after, what are you gonna do?
Kino X was written and directed by Sam Saldivar. Producer, Sam Saldivar. Audio engineer, Sam Saldivar. Editor, Sam Saldivar. Billy Mote was played by Sam Saldivar. The director of special broadcasting operations was played by Sam Saldivar. Music and sound effects by Sam Saldivar. Audio from the motion picture The Return of Johnny Madrid was produced by Sam Saldivar and Paul DeKuchitz. Written by Sam Saldivar and Phil Norden. Sound recordist, Bill Drucklieb. Music by Jay Wasco. Unit production manager and wardrobe stylist, Samia Safuri. Assistant to the director, Greg Fetterbush. Production accountant, Christina Wart. Johnny Madrid was played by Sam Saldivar. DQ McDoon was played by Shepard Ross. Torment Spoonfoot was played by Jonathan Goldstein. Talk show segment was directed by Joseph C. Ebert at the Educational Communications Center, SUNY Binghamton. Annie Malloy was played by Carson Kreitzer. The television announcer was played by Joseph C. Ebert. Special thanks to Stephen Flavin, Desiree Gruber, Patty Sheehan, Ella Arolovi, Adolfo, Jessica Glass, Vishna Rodick, Kat James, Olivier Greco, Sean Adair, Jessica Glass, Paul Fox, Mark Springer, Matthew Saldivar, Craig Lindberg, Peter DeKuchitz, Alan Siegel, Susan Jones, Bob Siegel, Phil Meyerowitz, Mr. and Mrs. John Wirt, Dr. and Dr. Saldivar, Tom Rasmussen, Ann Flynn, Mike Burke, Mir Dad, Bill Cody, and Cynthia Sid Nelson. This has been your narrator, Sam Saldivar. This has been a Sam Saldivar production. Well, it's that time again. I'm going to head down out of the crow's nest and out into the world. I'd like to thank you. If you have stuck around, I would like to thank you. That's 45 minutes. 45 minutes, that's how long it used to take me to drive from Beechwood to Westwood. So if you're still here, you're my hero. And I'll see you next week. Oh, I'd also like to thank Jimmy. Before he left today, he left me a cookie. I guess he thought that was a nice thing for him to do, you know. Least he could do because he's taking the day off and everything. Weird thing though, I asked him what kind of cookie it was, and he goes, "It's edible." Well, actually, he says it's inedible, and I'm like, "It's inedible? Why are you giving me an inedible cookie?" And he says, "No, man, it's an edible." And then he left for the day. Left me quite puzzled. I mean, I would hope it was edible. I mean, why would he give me a cookie that wasn't? Anyway, I still think people should hibernate in the winter.